I am now testing this radio, and I decided not to do an alignment on it or do any tweaking because the dial's fairly accurate already and it plays very well. Also, this has a short wave band on it, and it does work, but there's nothing on that band, so I'm not going to mess with it either. But what I did do is some of the obvious things, like this. Obviously this wouldn't last too long, so I cleaned it off and soldered it. And I thought I'd help out the power transformer by putting a series resistor in the primary. And as you can see, it's 8 ohms, 20 watts, and this is just a 5-tube set, so this will work just fine. Also, I tested it while I had it on the bench to make sure that the resistor doesn't get too hot and the radio still performs very well. In fact, I couldn't tell the difference. After I was satisfied with that, I installed the last capacitor right here, and that is the capacitor that goes to the chassis and to one side of the incoming power. And what it replaces is that silver capacitor all the way to the right. It's bolted on, and I've got it cut out of the circuit, so I'm not going to bother about drilling a hole to get the thing out. It ain't going to go nowhere. Then the last thing I did before I put everything back in the cabinet was the speaker had a tear in it, and I just put some rubber cement over it. And now it's time for testing.
Regional Waterproofing is the only waterproofing and foundation repair company that I recommend in your area. Call 800.
Okay, this radio's been on for about an hour, and everything's going rather well.
CBS News. Chafe and more hard work is going on in more. Brian has announced his retirement after 13 seasons in the NFL, all with the Bears. The linebacker was a free agent and wasn't drawing a lot of interest after a big drop-off in production last year. Otherwise, it was a Hall of Fame caliber career. There are 7 games in the major leagues this afternoon, starting in Atlanta with the Braves go first.
Back of it. Just put a little wire up here for the antenna temporarily. And this transformer is just warm, not close to being hot.
The heat have been off since last Wednesday when they eliminated the Bulls, the Pacers. Not the 5th when lawmakers asked questions today, but Lois Lerner. $30 million. Health and Human.
And now, Chief Counsel for the American Center for Law and Justice, Jay Sekulow.
Well, here's
the other congressional committee.
Lerner. Error last year. A bill in the General Assembly would give McCrory access to $400 million in unspent funds, cost savings, and surplus tax collections to cover the shortfall. But that money is also...
Well, I think this radio sounds really good. And I'm going to do some more testing, mainly just letting the radio run for several hours. Thanks for watching.